everyone. Welcome to part 3 of our folding knife build, the Lockback. And hopefully we'll be able to wrap it up in this part. But I have the liners epoxied on with the G-Flex, the West Systems G-Flex epoxy. I'm a JB Weld guy at heart, but I'll tell you, this epoxy from West Systems, the G-Flex, is just unbelievable when you're trying to attach metal to wood. It's just, I mean, these are on there forever. You couldn't even chisel these off. If you did, you'd be taking the pieces of wood off with it. So we got that ready. The next step is going to be I'm going to drill these holes and I'm going to trim the outside. I won't bore you watching me drill again and the tedious scroll saw work, but I'll bring you back when I'm done with that. Alright, so we got them cut out. We got an initial grind on the sanding on the wood. I really love it. I'm telling you, these maple bolster sections, I think that looks great. When this gets some stain and some polyurethane, it's going to be awesome. So the next step is going to be a bunch of hand sanding. I'm going to smooth out all of these edges and get this right down to the liner, so we have a nice crisp line. And then I'll bring you back when that's done. All right, so I cleaned it up. I softened the edges. What I have here is just 2 pins from the inside holding it together. Soften the edges, and that's about what it's going to look like. So next thing I'm going to do is very carefully with a razor blade separate these, and then we're going to start to get our pins ready to put it together. Before I do that though, I'm going to chamfer these holes very slightly so that when I peen these out, they fill into the hole and I can sand them flat. So I'll separate these, I'll chamfer those holes very lightly, and then we'll start pinning this bad boy together. Okay, so I have 3 pins in. They're just pushed in. One's holding the spring, and then here's the lockback. If you're ever wondering how these worked, this presses against the spring, and then locks in the blade here, like that. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to put the other side on, and then I can close this and put in the final pin for that. So I'm basically just going to take the other side, press it on here, and I'll show you what that looks like. Okay, so we got the pins in, 3 of them. The lockback works. Now I never really put one of these together, so I'm flying by the seat of my pants here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start this pin. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a tie wrap. Let me grab a tie wrap. Alright, so I have a couple tie wraps on here, and I'm going to slip this lock down, slide these down. I think we got it. Alright, let me cut these off and I'll be right back. Alright, cut the tie wraps off. Let's check it out. Nice. I'm being gentle because I don't want this to pop apart on me. That's good. Nice. Very nice. Alright, so I'm going to trim these pins down, and I'm going to peen them in. I'll give you a quick shot of me peening a few of them, and then we'll bring you back to this table and we'll get some finish on this and we'll be done with it. Alright, so I have all the pins trimmed down. Now I'm just going to peen them with a ball peen hammer. You just very lightly I'm using the flat side first because I want to like create a mushroom on the top, and then I'll use the ball peen side to round it off. Then I'll use this side to round it off. So I'll do that to all 4 of those pins and not bore you to death watching that, and I'll bring you back when it's done. Alright, I lost my daylight. Hopefully this shows up, but got it all sanded down. I love the look of the pins. I specifically put that chamfer in there so I could peen them out, make them large. And then I progressively sanded them down and peened them and sanded them down. I think it's going to look great once the finish is on it. Got the lock and the spring all sanded down. So I think it's coming out really good. So I want to get a coat of the stain on it. It's called, it's Minwax Provincial. I'll basically I'll wear a glove and I'll put a little rag on my finger and I'll rub it in. And I'll let that dry overnight. And then I'll show you that. And then we'll put the final finish on it and we'll be done. Alright, so I have the stain on. I think it came out very nice. I love the way the mahogany shows these black grain patterns in there once it's stained. And the maple took a nice color. Sort of antique-y, ivory-ish color. Showing off its grain, which is pretty tough with maple. So next step is a polyurethane varnish that's going to go on here. And I'll put many coats until I'm pleased with it. And then I'll clean it up. We'll give it one final oil on the blade. And I'll show you what we got. Alright, so we're all done. I love the way it came out. I got 4 coats of hand rub poly and buffed it out. I love the grain pattern. Works great. Very strong lock. This was definitely a fun project. Definitely a fun project. So if you got some parts laying around, definitely give this a shot. I did a little mock-up of what it looked like originally. Big difference, huh? Got some nice action. So everyone, like I always say, and you know I really mean, I appreciate your views, I appreciate your comments, and hopefully this inspired you to you know, dig into your box of parts and make a knife, you know, make it your own. One day I'm going to try to make one of these from scratch. I think it'll be a very interesting project, but I hope you're having a great day and you enjoyed this, and we'll see you on the next one.